Hey guys. So, I'm not ashamed to admit that I am a bit of a hopeless romantic. I admit it. You see a couple of pigeons, canoodling, making that cooing sound. It's adorable, right? Come on. Wrong. What you're seeing is a female pigeon who just gave up. Because I don't know if you ever paid attention to the dating habits of the pigeon, but it's a little less about courtship, like, oh, m'lady, and a little bit more about sexual harassment and stalking. Because he'll come up to her and be like, hey, do you like this? Do you want this? Do you like this? Do you want this? Let's have a baby. Do you like this? Do you want this? Come on, let's do this. And believe me, he'll keep going. And then she turns around and says, no, thank you. Not for me. No, very polite. Not for me. But he will persist. Pigeons are the Energizer bunnies of sexual harassment. He'll just keep going and going. He'll be like, hey, do you want this? Do you like this? Let's get married. Come on, let's do this. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, Dair, can't she just fly away? You're right. She can. But that's where the stalking comes in. Because he will follow her. And at some point in time, they will land. And he'll look at her and say, so, where were we? Do you like this? Do you want this? Do you like this? I want to meet your mother. Let's do this. Come on. And at some point, the harassment gets to like Night of the Roxbury level of abuse, where she starts to look around kind of going, is anyone seeing this? Is no one actually going to do anything? Basically, being a pigeon is like working at the only company in the world that doesn't have an HR department. Right? We all see it happening, but no one's actually going to report it. So at some point in time, she capitulates. She gives up and says, fine. Do you at least know how to make a nest? And he's like, fuck yeah, let's do this, come on. I think I just like doing this stuff way too much. All right, while I'm up here, I briefly want to talk about my good buddy, Rick. Rick is a good old boy from the South. He uses a lot of those old-timey Southern expressions. Like when I said, hey, how you doing, Rick? He says, oh, I was busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. In regard to the birth of his first son, he said, oh, I was more nervous than a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. But he used a phrase that I thought was kind of weird. He used a phrase, he said, well, there's more than one way to skin a cat. And I, do you know this phrase, by the way? Meaning there's more than one way to perform a particular task. And I was thinking about this, and I'm like, yeah, you're right, Rick. There is more than one way to skin a cat. How do you know that? How does anybody know that? Who are these maniacs out there skinning cats and counting the number of ways that are doing it? Like, I'm picturing like a 12-year-old Jeffrey Dahmer in his like backyard treehouse, with like a wall full of skinned cats, and he's like, well, that's 12. All right, or some maybe nefarious German organization. They're like, we here at the Institute for Canine Studies have determined there are 34 ways of killing cats, and we're going to continue to experiment. Yeah, this is good. Oh my God, my buddy Rick is hilarious, if he existed. It's going to come as no surprise, obviously, that I was a bit of a precocious child growing up. I realized I could get away with saying anything in school, literally anything, as long as I did two things. One, phrased it in the form of a question, and two, blamed the information on someone else. The formula was this: teacher, so-and-so told me something, is this true? This way, I can't get in trouble, right? I'm simply confirming somebody else's information. I mean, fuck that kid, I'm throwing him under the bus, but I'm in the clear. So I remember we were in French class, and I was like, oh, Mrs. Applebaum. She's like, Dair, I'm like, sorry, Mademoiselle Applebaum. She's like, oui. Like, Mademoiselle Applebaum, is it true Benji said the word in French for egg is oeuf? She's like, oui, Dair, this is true. I'm like, Mademoiselle Applebaum, is it true Benji said the word in French for seal is phuc? She's like, oui, Dair. I'm like, wait, Miss Apple, is it true that Benji said the word in French for seal egg is phuc, oeuf? Okay, yes, I know it's childish. It's very, very childish. But things got crazy in geography class. I was there and I was like, oh, Mrs. Applebaum. By the way, it was grade 4. We had Mrs. Applebaum for everything. So I was like, Mrs. Applebaum, she's like, okay, yes, Dair. I'm like, Mrs. Applebaum, is it true Benji said that people from the country of Nigeria are sometimes called She goes, whoa, Don't say that word, Dair. That's a very, very bad word. I'm like, what? Benji said that people from the country of Nigeria are sometimes called Nishi. Whoa! Again, that's a very bad word. Benji, I'm gonna talk to you after class, young man. But I told you I was precocious, and I said, fuck it. I'm gonna go for it. So I was like, all right. Mrs. Outfun, Benji said the people from the country of Nigeria are sometimes called East Africans. Yeah, I know, precocious, because that's obviously not the word she was expecting, right? Yeah. Oh, by the way, the second thing is, it's actually West African. Yeah, I'm a bit of an asshole. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. Thank you very much.